What's up, guys? This is T-Man, and today we're going to talk about something that's either underrated as hell or totally dismissed by people who haven't tested it. 22 Magnum for self-defense. Yeah, you heard me right. I know some of y'all are already rolling your eyes, but don't click away just yet. See, I used to be one of those bigger is better guys too, until I shot a watermelon with a 2,000 feet per second 22 Magnum and it straight up exploded like a Call of Duty Claymore. This ain't your grandpa's plinking ammo. The stuff I'm about to show you is fast, nasty, and purpose-built to stop threats. Some expand like crazy, some shred like tiny buzzsaws, and a few punch deep enough to make FBI gel standards cry. So if you've got a PMR-30, LCR, or even a micro revolver, these 10 loads will change the way you look at rimfire. Let's start this off with a heater, CCI Maxi-Mag V TNT. If there's such a thing as hypervelocity rimfire, this is it. We're talking 1875 plus feet per second, even out of shorter barrels, with a 40-grain hollow point designed to expand fast and hit hard. It's not built for deep FBI-style penetration. Nah, this one's for dumping energy fast and breaking apart in soft tissue. Think violent fragmentation, not slow mushrooming. I've run this in both my Ruger LCR and a PMR-30. It feeds smooth and goes bang every time. On impact, it turns small critters inside out. In gel, it shreds and sprays, almost like a mini frag grenade. Downside? Not great through barriers. If you're worried about denim, glass, or drywall, look elsewhere. But for close-range defense where you want immediate effect, this is top tier. It's one of my go-to picks when I want something that hits hard, doesn't over-penetrate, and flat-out ruins meat. Coming in hot with Hornady Critical Defense, which might be the most well-rounded 22 mag carry load out there. It rocks a 45-grain flex-tip bullet, that red plug in the nose, not just for looks. It keeps the hollow point from clogging up in heavy clothing like denim, jackets, or whatever nonsense a threat might be wearing. Out of compact revolvers like the Smith & Wesson 351C or even a Ruger LCR, this stuff performs like a champ. Expansion is consistent, even at lower velocities, and it holds together through light barriers better than most rimfire rounds. In my testing, this one actually held up in gel tests, pushing 10 to 12 inches with a beautiful mushroom. Feels like it was designed specifically for folks who carry a snubby 22 for backup. Not the fastest, not the flashiest, but if you want reliable performance every time, especially through clothing or thin barriers, Critical Defense is hard to beat. It's the grown-up in the 22 mag lineup, refined, smart, and effective. Now here's one that seriously punches above its weight, Speer Gold Dot 22 Magnum. This stuff was custom-made for short-barreled defensive revolvers. I'm talking Ruger LCR Smith & Wesson 351 PD, you name it. What makes it stand out is the bonded core. A 40-grain hollow point that stays together on impact, penetrates 12+ inches in gel, and actually expands. Yeah, in a rimfire. No BS. I was skeptical until I ran it in gel. Clean path, solid mushroom, no fragmentation, and it hit that magic 12-inch FBI minimum. That's rare in a rimfire and basically unheard of in snubbies. It burns clean, cycles smooth, and feels like a carry load you can trust. Not some squirrel-slaying plinker dressed up in a fancy box. Only knock? It's not cheap. But neither is your life, right? For anyone rocking a small-frame 22 mag as a backup or deep concealment gun, this is the load you want when the world goes sideways. It hits harder than it should, and it does it reliably. If you're looking for a 22 Magnum load that goes deep and stays straight, then Federal Punch is your guy. This 50-grain jacketed hollow point isn't here to impress with speed or flashy expansion. It's built for penetration. Straight line, serious, no-fluff penetration. Federal tuned this round specifically to meet FBI-level performance, and it actually hits 14+ inches in ballistic gel. That's insane for a rimfire. It uses a non-lead core, which helps with weight retention and gives it more of a heavyweight boxer punch. I've tested it out of the PMR-30 and the Ruger LCR. It cycles clean and hits like a brick through jello. You won't get wild expansion, but it digs deep and keeps going, which is ideal if you're worried about bones, layers of clothing, or heavy jackets. Not the sexiest round on the list, but if you want something that stops the fight, this is one of the best hard-target rimfire loads on the market. Time for a spicy one, Winchester Varmint HE. This 30-grain hollow point might be the lightest on the list, but it's also the fastest, like 2,200 feet per second fast. That's 223 rem territory for a second there. What does that mean for defense? Explosive fragmentation. You hit something soft with this, and it tears it up instantly. No overpenetration, just pure energy dump. I've watched this round make small critters disappear in a puff of fur and regret. Now, it's not made for barriers. You're not getting it through drywall or denim with clean results. But if you're using it in a home defense setup with a PMR-30 or similar, it'll wreck whatever it hits inside 10 yards. Out of short barrels? Still fast enough to fragment, just a bit less dramatic. Think of this one as a close-range fight stopper that doesn't care about pretty wound channels. It just wants to ruin the target's day. Now for the sci-fi assassin round of the bunch, Underwood Extreme Defender. This 35-grain copper solid doesn't expand at all, and that's the whole point. It uses a fluted nose design, almost like a drill bit, that forces tissue out in a spiral and creates a nasty permanent wound cavity. It's not about mushrooming. This thing just cuts and crushes its way forward like a buzzsaw on Red Bull. Where it really shines is barrier penetration. Glass, car doors, metal. Yeah, it punches through like a tiny warhead. If you're planning for worst-case scenarios, this is the round that'll keep going even when others break apart or deflect. I ran it through auto glass and plywood just to be a nerd, and it held its shape and track better than most 9mm JHPs. No joke. Now it's expensive and probably overkill for your average carry situation. But if you want something that acts like a miniature armor-piercing round, this one's a beast. I wouldn't want to be on the other end of it, even in body armor. All right, let's talk budget defense. Armscor 22 Magnum. This is your no-frills blue-collar carry ammo. It's a 40-grain jacketed hollow point, and while it won't win any ballistic beauty pageants, it gets the job done. Out of my Ruger LCR, I've dumped probably 200 rounds of this stuff. No misfires, no feeding issues, and it hits targets where I need it to. You'll get decent expansion if the velocity's high enough, and in a PMR-30 or rifle, it opens up nicely. In a short-barrel revolver, it's a little more modest, but still does more damage than a standard 22 long rifle. Plus, you can train with it and not feel like your wallet's getting mugged in an alley. If you're building a budget EDC kit or need to stockpile defensive ammo without draining your savings, Armscor is one of the best bang-for-your-buck choices in 22 Magnum. Not fancy, not flashy, but 100% functional. Now here's one most folks overlook, Aguila Interceptor. This isn't your typical rimfire hollow point. It's a semi-jacketed soft point, which means it's designed to punch deep and expand gradually. That's actually perfect for short-barreled revolvers, where velocity is too low to get reliable hollow point expansion. The soft lead tip starts deforming on contact, and the jacket keeps it from coming apart like a paper cup. Out of my Ruger LCR, this stuff runs smooth and hits like a slow-moving freight train. It doesn't shatter or fragment. It just plows through and mushrooms out slowly. It's kind of the 38 special of rimfire. Boring, dependable, and deadly if placed right. It's not designed for dramatic gel tests or Instagram glory. But if you want a consistent wound channel, good weight retention, and performance that doesn't rely on speed alone, the Interceptor's a solid choice. Definitely an underrated option for people who don't trust hollow points at low velocity. Now, if you like your ammo fast, flashy, and accurate, check out Remington Premier Varmint with the 33-grain AccuTip V. It's got that sexy polymer tip up front that's designed for aerodynamic flight and nasty expansion. This round was built for long-range varmint hunting, but when you throw it in a handgun like the Kel-Tec PMR-30, it becomes an absolute wrecking ball. I've watched this thing zip through air like a 1,700 miles per hour, then just explode on impact. It's not meant for barrier penetration, it's meant for fast expansion and full energy transfer. That tip helps it stay accurate even at 50-plus yards, which makes it a great pick for rural defense or even small game use if you're packing heat on the farm. Out of a snubby revolver? Performance drops a bit. But in anything with a 4-inch barrel or longer, it's a devastating little missile. If you're into flat shooting, hard-hitting rimfire, this is one of the slickest options on the shelf. Wrapping up the list with the weirdest and wildest entry, G9 external hollow point. If you can actually find this stuff in 2025, You're basically buying a 22 mag lightsaber. This isn't your typical hollow point. It's got a solid machined design with a giant nose cavity that creates massive wound channels without relying on expansion. It just cuts and crushes tissue, almost like a fixed-blade broadhead from the archery world. Out of a PMR-30, it flies fast and straight. Through gel, it creates cavities that look like shotgun wounds. It's high-end boutique ammo, meant for folks who like testing everything from subsonics to space-age copper rounds. Now it's pricey, and availability is iffy. But if you're the type to run optics on pistols and EDC a knife that costs more than rent, this might be your dream load. Not for the casual shooter, but definitely for someone chasing the peak of 22 Magnum lethality. So there you go, 10 of the deadliest 22 Magnum loads you can get your hands on. Whether you're packing a snub-nose revolver, a PMR-30, or something a little offbeat, there's a load here that'll turn your 22 mag into a legit fight stopper. My personal setup? I keep Speer Gold Dot or Federal Punch in my defensive revolvers. They're consistent, clean, and proven. But if I'm running something with more barrel, Varmint HE or AccuTip V gets the job. Fast, explosive, and nasty. Got a favorite I missed? Or a gel test story that blew your mind? Drop it in the comments. I'm always testing new stuff. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll check you later.